Hey, and welcome to VFX Tutors. I'm Josh, and in this tutorial we're going to be continuing with our flamethrower model. So we've gone through and done quite a lot of the trigger housing already, of the grips and a lot of the finer details. We'll carry on moving, we'll move on to doing some more of the smaller details with the sort of trigger housing, then we'll eventually move on to the rest of the body of it. So I know my tutorials are quite long, think of them more of walkthroughs, so you're seeing the entire process, none of it sped up, so you get to see how I'm doing everything, and you get to see all my mistakes and how I fix them as well. So, and also there's no pre-planning to it, so there'll be a lot of head scratching as well. So yeah, hope you guys have been enjoying it. If it's too long, just change the speed in YouTube. It's yeah, you can just fast forward it, I guess, to places you don't want to see. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really does help. And yeah, let's get going with the model. Okay, so we're at this point here where we've modelled effectively both sides. Whether or not you duplicated this side, just merged over to the other side. If you're just joining at this point, these are not identical grips. They're slightly different on each side, which did prove quite an annoying thing. See, it's wider on this side and thinner on this side. But now we're just going to kind of move on to doing some of these screws and just like fine tuning some of it. So let's just start with a screw. I did just notice maybe actually this bit here is a little bit too thin, so we'll probably go back and adjust that. But let's just do a simple screw. So as always, I'm just going to start off with a cylinder. I'm just going to get that roughly in the right place. I'd say you probably could have done this texture wise, but we just did it because, you know, why not? We're here to learn modeling, so let's try and model it. Okay, so because of the nature of this screw, we probably want to make sure that we've got edges that are clean going through either side. So that would usually mean having a number like that, so it goes across through the middle. So basically what I'm looking for is actually let's do that to 20 just so it's a higher subdivision. Let's just do it at 10, it'll be fine. Cool. So I'm just going to select all those edges. I'm going to go back. I do want something like that. So if I just just delete that. You know what, let's select that and isolate it because everything's been very annoying. Oh, let's go to orthographic. Let's go, I think it's bottom, isn't it? If I know it. Let's go back to our perspective. So, just want to make sure that you definitely pick the adjacent ones. So, what we can do is just for now Okay, I need to. I always forget that. So. Cool. So we've got the beginning of our sort of screw shape, but I forget we've got a lot of these edges in here that we sort of also need to figure out homes for. So we do have the luxury of being able to add a few edge loops in here. We want at least those in the middle. And I'm not just going to do them all at once. I just want to try and figure out what I can work with. Do you know what? I probably should at some point learn the hotkeys for these, but yeah. Oh well. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 edges here. We only got 2 there, so seem to have lost our and just gonna fill that hole. I'm just gonna multi-cut it because it's easier for now, and I can relax it later. Cool. In fact, let's just do that now while we're here. Ooh. Is that a double edge there that we... So, when you're doing the multi-cut, make sure you actually grab them. Cool. So obviously you can use symmetry and stuff like that. Don't. Half time I just like to just flip it manually afterwards, but as I say, it's completely up to you. how you do things. This is exactly the same as doing symmetry. Ooh. Just 180 it. Sometimes it's fine to use, like, I don't know, it's always fine to use symmetry, what am I saying? But sometimes I just can't be bothered, if I'm honest. And okay, so that has messed that up. Maybe this is why you should use symmetry. Oh well, I made a boo-boo. How strange. I'm just gonna undo all that. I'm actually going to flip it, annoyingly, because we've somehow lost our orientation. That's why a lot of the time it's best to model at the origin, I guess. You avoid all these sort of accidents. So imagine those. So I'm just move it to have a little look. Cool. So obviously our screw is not like this. Yes. I must admit this is not been a very quick tutorial on how to make a screw, but Cool. So feel free to go into like mega detail of this. I am not. I'm just going to bring that in like that. And you probably could just leave this, but for the sake of modelling, let's just do it. We're never going to see it either. So let's harden these edges up. We might not need to add a... Ooh, definitely do not want to add that. I do have a feeling that we'll just do a test bevel. So if we just bevel it now and see what our edges create, and you can see it's kind of created a... If we want that many subdivisions, we need to add another edge in there. So let's just undo that. But I kind of don't want to do that, and it probably doesn't matter because we don't actually see it, so I'm just going to add it around here. So you don't want to get too hung up on things that you're really not going to ever see. Let's see how that looks. Oh, and we selected something up here. It's always good to check that you haven't selected anything and everything you've got selected is correct. Cool. Scale that up. Just place that in. You might even have to might have to edit these. Just so it's not intersecting. Cool. So I guess like with that one done, you probably could place them in all the places let's just do it anyway, just for the sake of it. Because obviously if you're doing a lot of duplicates and stuff, you don't want to UV this, like, because you're going to UV this once. So you kind of want to UV it all afterwards. Well, UV it first, then place all the points. Ooh. Otherwise you're just doing a lot of excess work that you didn't really need to do. And we probably will actually need to go around and edit. If I remember, we made that one a little bit smaller just so it fits on the edge. Well, cool, so this will probably be the first tutorial that's under an hour of the flamethrower. Cool, so we've got those screws. What else was there? Maybe we could readjust that so that's actually the same size. Let's worry about that at a later date. We're not too bothered about it now. There's another very large screw here we can add. So luckily a lot of this is just all the same. There's no need for us to make another model of that if you've already got it. Although we may have to because we're scaling these up, the gap is going to get wider as well, which we don't necessarily want. So and that we also need to adjust this. So we're going to probably use my favorite tool now. We just got rid of that bevel on the edge. Hold shift and transform component. That'll just uniformly will bring it in. Like when you naturally get an extrude. So I think we will have to build a different screw for that because I don't think that's going to work. So let's create another cylinder. delete that. Let's go to our modeling attribute editor. It's frozen. It's never a good sign. There we go. I'm going to take a leisurely guess that that is the correct one. Throwing some edges in here, being quite rough with it, to be honest. It's not not like a super significant part of the model, but we still want to make sure that we are following to the reference. And sometimes just duplicating things just don't work out. Not particularly that bothered about that hitch. Cool, and what I'll do is just add a cut in here and cut in here. Let's make sure we go back and bevel that. It's not particularly great, that, because we've got those nodes. But we're not going to see it. So not heavily bothered about it. We can assist it though, just by not making it look so nasty. Cool. Cool, so I think for this tutorial we'll just leave it as that, quick and simple. 30 minutes of just doing screws and stuff. You can do much more than we'll just break it into more tutorials. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. It's a bit quick one. You could probably do it a lot quicker. It's only making simple screws and surprisingly made quite a lot of mistakes as well. But don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It really does help. And it makes me happy. So see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.